In this lesson, I'm going to implement Add to Cart. When user click on Add to Cart button in the home page, I'm going to implement Add to Cart in the React context and show the items in the cart in the header. Let's start by first step, and it's creating cart types. Go to Types folder, right-click New File, cart.ts. The first type that I'm going to define here is cart item. Export type cart item and set it to this type. It has image, it's a string, or it can be undefined. Next cart item field is a slug. It should be a string too. Content stock is type number. Quantity of type number, price of type number, ID number, and name number. So, as you see, these fields are very similar to the product, but we added a new field named quantity. Because in the cart item, we should know how many products of which product do we have. The next field, the next type is shipping address. We need to save the shipping address in the shopping cart. So I define shipping address type. It includes full name, address, city, country, and postal code of user. And the last one is the time to define the cart object itself. For cart object, we have, after defining cart item and shipping address, it's time to use them in the cart type. Here is the cart type. We have cart items. It's an array of cart item type. We have shipping address equal to shipping address type, payment method of type string, and prices. For cart, we have 4 prices: sum of all items prices, shipping price, tax price, and total price, all of type number. After defining type, it's time to go store.js and create cart object in the application store. Go to store.js. In the app state type, define cart of type cart, import it from types folder. Go to initial state and right after mode, add. Define cart object and set it to equal to this object. In this object, we have cart item. The default or initial value for cart item is empty array. We have shipping address. We need to fill the default values for shipping address. Payment method, by default, it's PayPal. And prices, all of them equal to 0. Because I'm going to save the cart item in the local storage, it's better to check the local storage before setting initial value to empty array. So for cart item, what I'm gonna do is to get rid of empty array and use this code. If in the local storage we have cart item, convert that item to a JavaScript object and put it in the cart item. Because by default values in the cart items is a string, we need to use JSON parse to convert them to real objects in the JavaScript. Also, I'm using exclamation mark to make sure that this value exists. For the shipping address, do the same. Get rid of empty object and set it to this value. If we have shipping address, In the local storage, use it, otherwise the default value for shipping address is empty object. For PayPal, do the same. If you have payment method inside local storage, use it. As you see here, I'm not using JSON parse because it's a string and there is no need to convert a string to any other data type using JSON parse. Great, that's it about setting initial value for cart object in the React context state. Let's go for next step. I'm going to add a new action. So in the type action, I want to add a new type and set it like this. The type is cart add item and the payload is cart item. It's a new action that I added to the action type. Import cart item from types folder here. And if I save the code, it just moved the code to new lines and add a pipe before the first item. That's okay. Next step is in the reducer and get rid of issue here. It says property cart is missing in the type here. So I need to put ... state to fix this issue. What it does is to keep the previous value inside the state, because state by default is of type app state. We have mode already there. So by using ... state, we say that we do not change any other fields in the state, but we are going to only update the mode field. So we use this style for all cases in the switch case of reducer. Let's go for defining a case for cart add item. Right after the return, add a case for cart add item. Here, first of all, I'm going to get the new item from action.payload. So we are going to add this item to the cart. Before adding item, we need to search in the cart items in the state to find this new item. If we have a product in the cart item with this ID, so we should not add a new record to the cart item because we already have it. So we need to increase number of that item in the cart. So we need to update the quantity of the new item in the cart. To do that, I'm using this code. If we already have this item in the cart, what we did here is to update only quantity of item in the cart. How we did it? We use map function to find that item, and when we find it, replace it with new item. The new item contains the new quantity. That's why we updated the quantity of this item in the cart. If the item is not new item, we keep it as it was before. But what if the item does not exist in the cart item in the React context? We need to add it at the end of the cart items array. So to add it, I'm using curly bracket, the structure cart items, and add it new item at the list of other cart items right here. Next step is saving cart items in the local storage. Here I'm using a stringify of JSON to convert cart item array JavaScript to a string value inside the local storage. In the local storage, we only can save a string data. At the end, we need to add the updated state. So what we return here is previous state, but for cart object, we update it, but in the cart object, we do not update other fields of cart object. We keep them as they are before, but only cart items in the cart will be updated by the value that we calculated here. So by running this code, the new state contains the new item. That's it about the store.js, the React context, and we are ready to go to app.tsx. What I'm gonna do here is to get the cart from store and show it inside the cart menu in the UI. From state, get cart, and find the cart anchor, replace anchor with link, change href to 2 and keep navlink in the class, and the closing one should be link to. The link comes from React Router DOM. At the very beginning, we imported from React Router DOM. Next step is in the caption of this link after cart, use this conditional rendering. If the cart in the use context cart items.length is greater than 0, we need to show a badge. Badge is a component from React Bootstrap. We need to import it, make it like pill to shape a circle, and set background color to danger to make it red. What is the value inside this badge? I'm using reduce function on the cart item to sum up all cart items quantity together. Save it. And here we do not have any item in the cart. So there is no change in the UI. If I click add to cart, nothing happens. Let's go and implement it. First of all, go to utils folder, go to utils.ts inside src folder, and define convert product to cart item function. This function accepts a product and return a cart item. We need it in the add to cart handler. Let's import cart from types folder and cart item from types folder too. Inside that, I'm using this code. Create cart item object of type cart item, and from the parameter product, generate a cart item object. So all values come from the product. But I set the quantity to 1. By default, the quantity of product in the cart item is 1. Let's fix this issue. Inside the product, we need to add ID of type string. So in the product, I added ID of type string. As you see, there is no error here. Next step is in product item. Go to product item component inside components folder, and at the very beginning, use context hook. Import it from React and import store from store ts. I get state and dispatch from this hook, and from the state, get cart items. We need it in the add to cart function. Then define add to cart function like this. It's an async function. Then define add to cart function like this. It accepts item of type cart item. Import cart item from types folder. What I'm gonna do here is to dispatch add to cart. But before that, I'm going to use find on the cart items in the React context to see if I already have this product in the cart item. Based on the exist item, I calculate the quantity. If I already have this item in the cart, I'm going to increase the quantity by 1. Otherwise, if it's a new item, set the quantity to 1. Next step is checking the content stock. If content stock of this product is less than quantity, I need to show this error message and return. Don't go to the next step. Otherwise, dispatch this action. Set type to cart add item, and the payload is all fields of item, and add the quantity that we calculated in this step. Great. Let's use add to cart handler inside the add to cart button for onClick event. Here is onClick event. I'm calling add to cart handler, and inside that, as parameter, I use convert product to cart item to convert the product inside this component to a cart item object. Imported. It should be imported from utils folder. And there we are. In the add to cart handler, we have a cart item. So here is the cart item, and here is the code to add an item to the cart. Let's check the result. Click add to cart. It's added. Add another one. It's 2, 3, 4. And that's it. We implemented add to cart functionality.